My last mission as Young Noble, repping this outlaw is to bring our story to life. Me and Edie working on this docu-series, Outlaws docu-series. We're trying to do a 5-part series, and we want to do a scripted series.
Today we mourn the loss of a hip-hop legend, Rufus Lee Cooper III, better known to the world as Young Noble, who passed away on July 4th, 2025, at the age of 47, as a core member of the iconic rap group Outlaws, founded by the late Tupac Shakur. Young Noble's voice carried the torch of West Coast hip-hop through decades of cultural evolution. His death leaves a profound void in the hip-hop community and among his global fan base. This biography pays tribute to the man behind the mic, a son, a friend, an artist, a father, and a revolutionary voice of his generation. Early life and background. Lee Cooper III was born on March 21, 1978, in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Raised in a challenging environment shaped by urban struggles, Noble found his voice early in life through music. Despite experiencing hardship, he developed a resilient and wise demeanor, a quality that would become a defining element of his lyrical style. Noble grew up admiring hip-hop pioneers such as Public Enemy, NWA, Rakim, and Tupac, whose influence deeply shaped his worldview and artistry. Music was more than a passion, it was a lifeline that gave him a purpose. He began writing lyrics during his teenage years, capturing the raw truths of life in the streets and the spiritual journey of a young black man in America. Introduction to Outlaws and Tupac Shakur. Young Noble's life changed forever in 1996 when he joined Outlaws, a rap group formed by Tupac Shakur. At that time, the group already had established members such as Idi Amin, Castro, Napoleon, and Hussein Fatal. Tupac personally recruited Noble after being impressed by his poetic flair and unapologetically real delivery. Noble's first major appearance came on Tupac's posthumous album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, under the alias Machiavelli. His contributions to tracks like Hail Mary and Life of an Outlaw immediately grabbed attention. His aggressive yet thought-provoking rhymes stood out as not just entertainment, but social commentary. Loyalty to Tupac's legacy. After the tragic death of Tupac in September 1996, Young Noble remained fiercely dedicated to preserving the legacy of his mentor. He carried the mission of the Outlaws forward with unshakable loyalty, helping the group release several albums that extended Pac's messages of struggle, resistance, and self-empowerment. Albums like Still I Rise, 1999, a collaboration between Tupac and Outlaws, and Ride With Us or Collide With Us, 2000, showcased Noble's growing presence as a lyrical force. His role in the group wasn't just as a rapper, he became a leader, guiding Outlaws through turbulent industry changes and personal losses, including the deaths of Gaddafi, 1996, and Hussein Fatal, 2015. Solo career and collaborations of the Outlaws collective. Young Noble developed an impressive solo discography. His debut solo project, Noble Justice, released in 2002, solidified his identity as a standalone artist. The album tackled political themes, racial injustice, urban survival, and spirituality with unrelenting honesty that subsequent projects like Son of God, 2012, Outlaw Riders Volume 1, and Immortal Legend 2019 further demonstrated his lyrical depth and commitment to conscious rap. His collaborative albums with Kila Tay, Deuce Deuce, and K-Dog widened his influence, bringing together fans across coastlines and continents. One of his most notable partnerships was with Outlaws member Idi Amin, with whom he released several joint albums, including Ghetto Stars and The Code. Their synergy kept the spirit of the original Outlaws alive in the 2000s and 2010s. Activism and community work. Young Noble was not just a rapper, he was a soldier for the community. Using his platform, he spoke out against police brutality, systemic racism, and inner-city violence. His lyrics often carried deep socio-political messages, echoing the revolutionary principles that Tupac had instilled in him. Off the mic, Noble frequently visited schools, juvenile centers, and community events to mentor the youth. He was committed to using his life as a testimony encouraging young people to rise above circumstances and chase purpose over fame. In interviews, Noble often stated that his mission wasn't just to make hits, but to make history by inspiring change. His grounded demeanor and humility won him respect from fans and peers alike. Personal life and relationships. Despite being in the spotlight, young Noble maintained a relatively private personal life. He was known to be a devoted father, husband, and family man. Friends described him as wise, calm, and spiritually centered, a stark contrast to the harsh realities depicted in his lyrics. He often credited his family for keeping him grounded and focused amid the chaos of fame and personal loss. He also maintained close relationships with surviving Outlawz members, considering them brothers bound by blood, struggle, and purpose. Health, illness, and final years. In 2022, young Noble suffered a heart attack, which he publicly disclosed on social media. He underwent successful treatment and used the experience as a moment of reflection. In a heartfelt post, he urged fans to take care of their health and value each moment. The health scare slowed down his touring, but not his music. Even during recovery, he continued releasing singles and videos, staying connected with fans and loyal to his craft. Cooper died by suicide by gunshot in Atlanta, Georgia, on July 4, 2025. The hip-hop world erupted in mourning, with tributes pouring in from fellow artists, activists, and fans around the globe. Cars, houses, and lifestyle. Young Noble led a modest and purpose-driven lifestyle. Unlike many in the industry, he was never flashy. He owned a few luxury vehicles, including a Chevrolet Impala, a Range Rover, and a custom Dodge Charger, but he rarely flaunted them. His focus was more on investment, family, and community empowerment. He lived in a quiet, suburban neighborhood outside Atlanta, Georgia, in a comfortable home that doubled as a recording space. There, he often hosted community meetings, jam sessions, and private writing retreats. His home was filled with Tupac memorabilia, family photos, and books on Black history and spirituality. Net worth and business ventures. At the time of his passing, young Noble's net worth was estimated to be around $2 million. Most of his income came from independent album sales, streaming, touring, and merchandise through his Outlawz media label. He also ventured into real estate and launched a clothing line inspired by Pac's thug life philosophy. In recent years, he had begun working on a memoir, co-authored with a cultural historian, which remains unfinished. Awards and recognition. While young Noble never received mainstream music awards, his contribution to hip-hop is deeply recognized and respected within the culture. He was often invited to speak at music conferences, appeared in multiple documentaries about Tupac in the 1990s rap era, and was honored by grassroots organizations for his activism and commitment to youth empowerment. In 2024, he received the Hip Hop Legacy Award from an independent Black Arts Foundation for his 25 years of influence in the genre. Legacy. Young Noble's legacy is one of resilience, loyalty, and truth. As the last official member to join Outlawz before Tupac's death, he stood as a bridge between generations, passing on the messages of past revolutionaries to a new era of artists and fans. He never sold out, never strayed from his purpose, and never stopped speaking truth to power. His music remains a time capsule of social consciousness, street wisdom, and spiritual introspection. Through his lyrics, young Noble taught his listeners about survival, love, brotherhood, and justice. The world has lost more than a rapper. We've lost a revolutionary voice, a cultural warrior, and a humble soul. Rufus Lee Cooper III, aka Young Noble, may have left the physical world, but his voice will echo through time. He now joins his brothers Tupac, Gaddafi, and Hussein Fatal in hip-hop eternity. Rest in power. Young Noble, your words, wisdom, and warrior spirit will live on forever. Thank you for watching.